you very much. I wanted to follow up on Senator Inhofe's questions on nuclear modernization. And let me just start with this, Dr. Hicks. I know this is going to be a very important responsibility that you have in your new position. And wanted to ask you, do you believe a reliable and modern nuclear deterrent is central to America's national security?
Senator, I do.
And do you believe a strong and dependable United States nuclear deterrent also helps prevent nuclear proliferation around the world?
I do.
I recently introduced a letter which I would like to submit for the record. I've sent a letter to the President expressing my concerns in following up on the New START treaty that he has not followed through in the proposed 2013 budget with a commitment to making sure that we have sufficient resources to modernize our nuclear capabilities. And in fact, one of the deep concerns I have is that in order for us to be able to ensure that our nuclear deterrent is modernized and capable, we also have to have sufficient resources to build and maintain the chemistry and metallurgy research replacement facility. Are you familiar with that, the plans for that facility at Los Alamos?
Senator, I am not.
This is very, very important in terms of modernizing, making sure that we have a sufficient nuclear deterrent. And so I would like to, I'm going to submit this letter that I wrote to the President expressing my concerns about the fact that there hasn't been a follow-through on the commitment to modernize our nuclear weapons and our deterrent to make sure that they're effective. And so I would ask for the record that you take a look at this letter that I've sent to the President, along with actually several other senators, and would ask you to also comment on that letter when you are confirmed. And so I would ask for an answer to receive your comments on the concerns I've raised to the President and what you believe needs to be done to ensure that our nuclear deterrent is modernized, effective, and capable.
Senator, if confirmed, I welcome an opportunity to review the letter and respond.
Thank you very much. I think this is very, very important, and I'm deeply concerned about where we are right now on this issue. And I'm also concerned that if we do not modernize in the way that I believe the President made a commitment in the confirmation of the New START treaty, that it will be to the detriment of our nuclear deterrent, and also, in my view, could encourage proliferation around the world, particularly when we look at some of the actors that we are trying to prevent from having nuclear weapons capability, including Iran. One final other additional issue I'd like to follow up on from Senator Inhofe's question, because you will have responsibility, Dr. Hicks, over our detainee policy. And before the Armed Services Committee, I've questioned many of our military leaders about this issue of if we were tomorrow, for example, to capture Ayman al-Zawahiri, who is now the head of al-Qaeda. For example, if we were to capture him in Pakistan, where would we detain an individual like that to question that individual, to gather intelligence, to be able to protect our country, and obviously, hopefully, find out more about that organization so we could stop their dangerous activities. So you're of course familiar with Mr. al-Zawahiri.
I am.
Do you know if we did capture him tomorrow, where we would detain him?
I do not know that answer.
Okay. And in fact, I got the same answer from Admiral McCraven, who is a distinguished commander of our Special Operations Forces. I've got it when he first came before the committee, when I was first elected to the Senate, and then I asked him recently again that question, and he did not have an answer for me either of where we would put him. Or an individual like that. Would you agree with me that if we capture someone like that, one of the important responsibilities we have is to gather intelligence about what an individual, particularly the head of al-Qaeda, would know about future attacks and also the activities of that terrorist organization.
I agree, that would be very important.
And so, to me, this is the ultimate issue as you review the closure of Gitmo. In the absence of bringing anyone to detain them at the Guantanamo facility, if we do not have an equivalent facility, then there is no place for us to put them. And so, to me, without an answer to that, it's a very, very troubling in terms of how we would gather intelligence, how we would assure their security, and that is an answer that I would like you to answer when you take on this responsibility, because if you're going to be responsible for detainee policy in this country, this is the foremost question that must be answered. So I look forward to receiving your answer on that in your new capacity, because if we can't answer that question, I think it is a grave problem for our country. Would you agree?
I agree.
I thank you so much for coming before the committee today, and look forward to working with you on this detainee issue and answering that important question, as well as the nuclear modernization question for the safety of our country.